Welcome to Makers International, a podcast of makers from 3 countries, 2 continents, and featuring 5 guys separated only by the same language. Here's your host, Richard Morley.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good times, whatever time it is, and wherever you're listening. Joined with me, as always, Mr. Chris Cute.
Why am I always laughing when you introduce me? Hello, everybody. How are you?
It's because we're always clowning around before you hit the live button. Mr. Joe Whitaker.
You're right, Sam, yeah.
Jamie's with us, as always, and we have a guest as well. Mr. Paul Willmore. How are you getting on, Paul?
Yeah, good, thanks. Nice
Excellent. It's nice to have you on. It's, I know of you relatively well. We've kind of done a bit of a collab a few years ago, if you remember.
Yeah.
No.
Tell him you forgot. Tell him you forgot.
It's
Probably in your watch later list, I should think.
yeah.
We'll be back with you in just a second, so we'll kind of let you sort of ease into it. We'll do the normal shout outs and thank yous as always. So this week's shout outs and thank yous, first of all, Eli Escojedo from Escojedo Woodworking, Jim Dockrell, Gerald the Redsmith, Works by Solo, our guest this week, Paul, because you commented on last week's video as well, Tracy Keaton and Andrew McQuillan. Obviously a big shout out to everyone in the live audience this week. I can't see what you're typing, but presumably someone is listening and watching, etc. Jamie, that's kind of your key. Yes, fantastic. We do like it when people get in touch and interact with us. It kind of breaks the monotony of having to talk to each other most of the time, so that's always good. Don't forget, you can listen to us over on SoundCloud and iTunes and all those other places as well, and you can get in touch via the website, although only a couple of us have got the website emails sorted at the moment. Joe, Chris, that was kind of a dig at you.
I got that. Thanks, Richard.
So much, as always. Today's podcast is brought to you in part, as always, by Yorkshire Grit, the wood turns abrasive paste. For more information, visit yorkshire-grit.com and our good friend Chad over at Man Crafting. We're still giving away one of his mugs every month to a lucky listener, so stay tuned. I'm sure Jamie's going to sort something out for a giveaway quite soon. If you want to find out anything else about our sponsors, then head over to the website makersinternationalpodcast.com/sponsors. Now that's out of the way. Chris, do we have questions from the interweb from the last week or so?
We do. We have questions regarding an episode we did about 6 or 8 months ago about how we're going to offer people T-shirts and stuff and swag from Makers International stuff, and what the hell kind of happened with that? Because we talked about it over a half a year ago, and nothing's gone on with it. So, Richard, I'll throw the question right back at you. What's going on with that?
Well, that's a good question. We are in the process. We've already started. In fact, I've ordered mine some swag, Makers International podcast T-shirts, kind of going down the Team Scroll Saw, Team Router route. Joe, you sort of organised the T-shirt side of it. Do you want to just because I don't want to get it wrong, basically?
Yeah, I've got this sort of set up. So basically, the thought behind it is we've been needing some swag for a while now, and the running theme we've always had is the feud between Richard and Jamie and Team Scroll Saw and Team Router. So we thought, right, let's play on that. So we've got 2 T-shirts available. One that's got our logo and hashtag Team Scroll Saw running across the front, and another one that's our logo and obviously hashtag Team Router across the front. So the idea with it is it's being run through Bonfire, who I used for the charity campaign a while ago. So I've been selling shirts. There's 2 campaigns, one for Router, one for Scroll Saw. Then the idea that we've got is whoever buys a shirt and we see you wearing that shirt at Makers Central, we're going to have a bunch of goodies that we'll be able to give out to you, hand out in person and stuff like that. So it's still all being organised and trying to figure out the logistics of it. But that's what we've got so far. I've got mine ordered. Richard's got his. Chris has got his. Jamie's ordered his as well. Jamie, he needs to get the Team Scroll Saw team up a bit. He's lagging behind.
I'm not worried because no one likes Richard.
Well, this is true. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that. I'm just sort of hoping that Chris and Joe buy Router T-shirts, if I'm honest. But if you want to make Jamie feel a little bit better about himself, then feed his ego and get a Team Scroll Saw T-shirt. That's the way forward, isn't it?
Well, I honestly, I think, and I could be wrong, and I hope I am, to be honest with you. But I think right now the T-shirt sales, as far as Team Router goes, there have been 3, and Team Scroll Saw there has been 1. So, and we need to sell at least 5 T-shirts in each one of these categories in order for the campaign to go through. So we're gonna, I guess today we have to devote our attention to please buy a Team Scroll Saw T-shirt because Jamie needs some friggin' love. Because Team Router is obviously kicking butt at the moment. So
It's all the help he can get.
Is that sounding because these lot are just ganging up on me?
But if you do grab a T-shirt, first of all, thank you very much. We don't get anything from it. You just get a T-shirt, and you give us an opportunity to give you stuff when we see you at Maker Central if you happen to be wearing it either on that Saturday or Sunday. So yeah, please get a T-shirt. If you go into Maker Central, wear it on either the Saturday or the Sunday, and then if we see you or if you find us, then hit us up and we'll give you some free stuff because we just love to give stuff away. So yeah, do that thing.
Just
T-shirt.
a reminder, Bobby Duke owns a scroll saw. Say no more.
Well, I mean, and I love Bobby, and Bobby's, a very talented man, but, I bet he'd have more fun with a router if he actually sat down and played with it.
And yet he chooses to use pencils.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But I mean, just to kind of reiterate and kind of emphasize the fact, just because you're unable, I know there's a lot of people that are actually unable and won't be attending Maker Central. It doesn't preclude you from getting a T-shirt, obviously.
Of course not. Of course not.
Supporting the podcast. It's just that if you are there when we're there, and hopefully we can get some goodies out to you. I've reached out to some friends of mine in the industry. I know Jamie and Joe both have as well. We're collating all that together, and hopefully we'll have goodies relative to your particular team that you can benefit from as well. So it should be good.
And I think we've got that pretty much nailed down. I think, Richard. I don't know if you want to mention the companies that we have working with us currently, but we could save that till next week because next week we're going to jump into this next week because we've got a lot of things planned that we want to do with Maker Central and that event coming up. So because it's just going to be a fantastic time.
Yeah, and that's obviously the whole theme of it is to have fun, just like.
Yeah, exactly.
Maker Central itself. So, Paul, are you actually going to? I think you're going to Maker Central.
Yeah, I'm going both days. So,
fun. Are you staying overnight and hanging out? I don't know if you live locally to Birmingham and you're sort of going home, or whether you've got.
I'm actually in Southampton, so I'll be going up on the Saturday and staying right next to the NEC.
Gotcha.
In the Hilton, I think it is. So.
Ooh, very posh. Very posh.
It's where you're staying, Richard. Shut up.
I know that's my spot. I'm not going to cheap it. So you're kind of close to Jamie then. If you're down in Southampton, down south, that's proper
Down
south.
south. Yeah.
Dan Sam.
But no, it's about two hours away from Jamie. I think it's
About that.
Enough of a buffer. That's
same as from me to Birmingham is 2 hours as well. So
really,
yeah,
crikey.
because I'm originally from Worcester, so it's actually I'm a Midlander in the south. So
Yeah, but there's no way you can get from Southampton to Birmingham in 2 hours unless you fly.
Well, maybe you just haven't driven with Paul. I mean, because Paul could probably.
Yeah, but, not legally. Sure, I mean,
on a good day, it's roughly about 2 hours. So yeah.
Crikey, I'd have allowed double that myself. Flipping heck. Maybe it's the way I drive. I don't know. I'm not going to argue with you about it. You know the route.
Ding, 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 and Richard was
Sunday drivers.
Driving Miss Daisy, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Paul's just not a grandmother behind the wheel, Richard. Whatever.
Now we know Richard's a Sunday driver.
With a clean license.
Oh, look at that! Look at the pretty flower, and he travels it down to 20. Look at that!
Oh, a tree!
Right. We'll talk. That's a good segue. That Chris, going from trees to obviously Paul being a woodworker. What I'm trying desperately to get back to Paul here and
No,
swerve
actually,
this.
that was good, Richard. That was good because you managed to pull that over. That was good.
Smooth.
I am impressed. Cheers, my friend.
So yeah, to kind of avoid the attention from me for as long as possible and get back to Paul. I guess Jamie kicked off with Eloy last week and his sort of origin story. I'm going to jump the gun just because we need to draw the attention away from me. Paul, what is your origin story? I mean, where did you sort of begin making your journey?
Well, back at school, I was my highest qualification was in woodworking, and I wanted to start and be a carpenter and all that. But I managed to get an apprenticeship as a maintenance electrician, and so basically, a few years ago, I got back into woodworking, and I wanted to put some shelves up, and then I got a saw, and then I was like, I'll make something else, and then it just escalated. And I actually took my dining room table, cut a rectangle in it, and made it a modular system. So I put a circular saw upside down in this rectangle, and I also was able to put a router upside down in the same bit, and then I could still use the dining room table when I needed to.
You know what, Paul, I got to ask you a question, because right now the first question that pops in my mind is, are you married?
Yeah.
And your wife let you do that?
Yes, I mean,
you are married to a fantastic woman. I just want to.
I definitely am. The reason why I was allowed to is because the dining room table was given to us, and when I actually cut the rectangle in it, I found out it was MDF with a veneer on top of it. So where I thought it was a hardwood table, I then found out it was MDF. So
you're not talking to the people that obviously gifted that table to you anymore, no?
No. It was a long time ago, so they wouldn't realize.
I don't know how to underscore this anymore, but because if I walked up to my wife and said, "Honey, the dining room table looks like a table saw and a router to me. Can I convert it as long as we can kind of sort of make it look like a dining room table again?" She would divorce me.
I can just imagine the conversation now. It's like, yes, on the one condition, I'm carving the Christmas dinner.
That's it. The circular saw.
Yeah. Right in the middle of the table. Oh, what's that? What a handy appliance. Hey, hon? My wife would be looking at me like, you are so insane.
That's a viral video right there.
Yeah, I'm taking our son and going away. Oh, Paul, that's admirable, man. What a great story.
Luckily, she is a very, very good wife to me, or else I wouldn't be able to spend hours in the old dining room that is now my workshop.
I don't know how he does it. How you need to teach us. How do you get around that?
Yeah, I want to know about this one.
Well, it stems back from I years ago I used to have depression, and I needed to find a hobby, and woodworking turned into something that actually has been very good for me, and it's actually given me something to help. And with the videos as well, the videos are there to help me try and come out myself and be able to talk, because I'm not a very good talker, and this way I'm just trying to force myself to actually speak to the camera and do video.
Put yourself out there. Well, good for you. I mean, you know what? It's not only is it good therapy for you, but you're probably having fun doing it, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, see, win-win. Good for you. And if it takes your wife letting you cut up the dining room table to put a Jeep in a router table, you know what? I still love that woman, and I've never met her, but tell her that she has a fan.
I will.
Yeah. Is she coming to make a central with you, or are you
Yeah,
coming?
she's coming on one day, so
Awesome.
Fantastic.
I just had a thought. You could take out the insides of the sofa and flip up a bandsaw.
Oh
Nope.
God.
Paul, what I want you to do is I want to go to dinner with you and your wife, and then I want you to let me bring a scroll saw with me, so that I can cut up your. And I want your wife to order half a chicken, so I can saw that chicken up for her right there at the table.
Does that mean your team scroll saw now, Chris?
No, it just means that's the only thing I can see a scroll saw worth for, Jimmy. Is to,
Funny you say that. I've had to cut up a lamb leg many a time.
Hey, no, I didn't want to go there. Oh my God, Paul, please change the subject. So,
Let's
yeah,
get it back on track.
how tall are you? What's your favorite food? Do you have a favorite color? I mean, anything. Let's move on.
I was going to jump in earlier because it's a similar situation with myself. Really, why I got into woodworking and YouTube, especially. Would you say that you started your channel based on giving yourself that challenge, putting yourself out there more, or was there some other form of inspiration around it?
well, I used to watch. Well, I still do when he releases videos. Steve Ramsey and Woodworking for Mere Mortals. I basically I've watched every one of those videos, and I thought to myself, if he can do this, then I can. And then once I did it, I then found the maker community, and that has actually been one of the best things about doing it, is the people that I've actually met.
You know
It
what?
really is.
Most people will say that, and that to the most successful people, however you want to ascribe success, to the people that, or even not possibly the least successful, however you want to just subscribe that. Everybody that gets into this goes, you know what? The best thing that's happened to me since I've done this has been the people I've been able to meet, and it's the God's honest truth. I think everybody feels the same way, because let's be honest, if we weren't doing what we're doing, Paul, would you and I have ever talked? Is it even possible that you and I would? I mean, possibly, I guess, but the chances are probably pretty remote.
That's the thing,
sorry, Joe. Even with kind of doing things like with Jamie's help, I did a collaboration of a Christmas song.
Well, that would be the downside.
Oh, very much a downside.
Not Jamie.
Very much a downside.
All right, I'm kidding, Paul. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, doing the collaboration with Jamie on that was he was really brilliant. He did help me a lot, and I know it from what I see. Jamie does help a lot of people do a lot of things.
Yes, he does.
He does. He gets a lot of flack off us, but he's the backbone of the community.
Yeah, he is.
I am. You're right.
Until he gets like that. Until he gets like that, and then we just have to.
Out.
And that's why we shoot him in the pants whenever we can, because he gets all cocky about stuff. Anyway.
Although for one thing, with scroll sawing, I've got a bigger scroll saw than Jamie. Unfortunately, I have to say that. I've got a piece of a scroll saw.
Not that it's a competition or anything, no. But of course, if it was, you'd be winning.
We actually spoke about your scroll saw when you got it, because you actually contacted me about it, didn't you?
Yeah. I asked Jamie's opinion on it and said, "Is 26 inches big enough?" And he said, "Yeah."
I said, "Yeah, it should be plenty enough to please you."
26 inch.
So, which is that? One of the Excalibur?
No, it's actually a record.
No, it's a record power.
I didn't realise they did another scroll saw.
Yeah, the date on it is 1998.
I thought that was the John Holmes version.
Let's just say I got a good deal and I was in the right place at the right time.
As so many of these kind of things they're just total fluke.
And especially the older tools as well, because you can't exactly just rock up to a shop and buy them. And when you can get your hands on a quality tool like that, you got to take it when the opportunity jumps up.
Yeah, I mean, the thing had been ordered for somebody else. They didn't want it after all. And then I managed to get it, and it was in the box, never been put together. So it was brand new.
Crikey. I mean, who wouldn't want to get their hands on 26 inches brand new out of the box then, eh? That's, absolutely.
I wish I had it, but I ain't folding it in half for nobody.
My wife would sign up for it.
So what are you?
Hey, wait a minute, hold on, honey, you interested? She says, "Oh heck yeah!" Sorry.
So what have you been? I was going to say, what have you been pulling off the scroll saw bed for with that then?
I haven't really done anything major, but I did a Halloween project, and I've got my next project is actually going to be quite a large project that I'm going to be doing on it, but that's what I'm going to say on that one.
Secret. I do know something that you've really been getting into recently, which I'm really jealous about, and that's your laser. How did you come about actually getting involved with that? Was it just a spur of the moment decision? Let's give it a go, or had you been planning a long time?
I would have liked an X-Carve or something like that, but I was speaking to my wife and she bought it me for my birthday. So she understands that. I mean, you can do. I mean, at the moment, I'm doing some table numbers for somebody, and there's 25 of them, and unfortunately.
Paul, do you mind if I interrupt you and ask you, does your wife have a sister?
No.
All right, never mind. Go on then.
So I've got some table numbers that I'm doing at the moment, but it's good for plaques. It's good for all that sort of stuff. But the only thing that I found is it's actually quite slow. I was expecting it to be like one of the big lasers, but it's not exactly the quickest thing.
So is that because of the power of the laser? It needs longer in one location to do what it needs to do, and so your feed rate has to be less, or is it just that you don't run it fast?
The issue that I've got is that it was ordered through GearBest, and it was actually from China, and they forgot to put the software CD in, so I actually had to find another software to actually run it. And whether that makes a difference to how it performs, I can't tell you. But it's definitely it works. It's good, but I'd like it to be a bit more quicker.
Well, I guess that's the thing about every tool that if you look at any tool in your workshop that you've bought or acquired, you think, oh, I wish I'd got the next model up. It's the same with computers. Do you know what I mean? You buy a 10-inch table saw, and then 6 months down the line you go, oh, it was only a couple $100 more. I could have had a 12-inch, or it doesn't matter what the tool is, but us as makers, and I guess anyone in any hobby, it's like, oh, do you know what? I wish I'd bought the next model up.
Yeah, I mean, the upgrade from the dining room table, I went to a cheap table saw, and I wish I'd actually spent a bit more money and get a better one, because there is a bit of deflection on the blade and stuff like that. So
yeah, well, I mean, even hand tool workers will say, I went out and got the Stanley hand plane, but boy, I wish I'd have saved up a few more, dollars and got the Lee Nielsen. It's like it's just inherent within us. It's like as soon as we get one, oh, we're happy to have the one we have, but then all of a sudden we realize, oh, I could really like to have that one, because he struck to you. I got a 14-inch bandsaw. I should have waited and got the 17-inch, and then you get the 17-inch and go, there's a 40-inch out there with my name on it. So it's like, it could be, you're never freaking happy. So just get on with it.
It also comes to wood as well. When I first started again a few years ago, the only wood that I could afford was pallet wood. So I then progressed into hardwoods, and then realized that it's much better than pine and stuff like that. But pine is fine, but hardwoods is just a lot better. So
let me ask you about this because I had a friend of mine who's relatively new to woodworking, And he's in Florida, and so I don't get to see him very often now. But he and I talk every now and then, and he has been like you. He started out basically just using pallet wood and building stuff, and I encouraged the crap out of him. I said, "Do it, man! Go, 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 go!" Well, he went out and bought some higher end hardwood. And he was describing to me the first time that he decided to make a project, which was, by the way, just a couple of weeks ago, out of this wood that he actually had to go out and buy. Let me ask you your impression, Paul. Well, the first time you were using the nice hardwood that you were using opposed to the pallet wood, how nervous were you making the first cut on that wood to make sure that you weren't messing up your investment?
Oh, because what you just said, when you actually first buy it, you then go, your jaw drops to the ground, and you go, "Oh my god, I just spent X amount on
How
all
much?"
this wood."
Yeah, exactly. And if I screw this up, it's no longer just pallet wood I'm screwing up. I'm tossing money out the window, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You're extremely nervous, and you're like, but as soon as you start cutting it, you like the smell, how easy it cuts, and everything. It just turns the whole world round, and
Yeah.
it kind of, you think, I can make some really great stuff out of this.
Yeah, the reason why I asked that was because the whole story with him, in a nutshell, real quick, was that he had done the same thing you did and had been doing it for years. And finally, it was a piece of walnut that he had, and he was nervous about cutting that piece of walnut. And then once he got through it and started making, he was on, "Oh man, I love this! I loved it!" And he wasn't scared anymore. He just wanted some more of it to play with. So yeah, that's awesome. That's great.
But I can get hold of hardwood pallets, and the Pallet Challenge 2016, I made a candlestick out of a pallet, and that was hardwood pallet as well. So it does make a difference with the wood.
Talking about challenges, something that it's got to be my favourite video of yours came from another one of the challenges. Excuse me. I believe it was the 2x4 competition where you made the revolving tool, chest, like kind of holder. I thought that was brilliant how you came up with that. Like the storage solutions that you have in your workshop by having a small space. It's really inspirational. How do you come up with those kind of ideas?
Good question, Joe. I just, off the top of my head, it just comes in my head, and I just make it. So it's just a bit like with you and your nail coasters. You just thought, I'll just have a go at that, and you did it. But no, I don't know what came out, what actually made it come into my mind, but that's just the end product.
It's fantastic.
Do you work to any plan when you come up with things like that, or do you just have this sort of kind of in the back of your mind what you think you want it to look like, and then you just crack on, or do you just sort of think things through and have a rough plan, or how do you tend to work a project?
It normally in my mind, and then it just I just feel it.
You're solving problems as they appear rather than trying to sort of head them off, as it were, before they start.
But as a maintenance person, I do that at work. I have to fix machines, and I have to work around things, and I also do making it work, doing maintenance.
Okay.
So
that was going to be one of my next questions. You know, what do you do for work and full time?
Well, I work for a factory, a Specsavers factory that we make the lenses for, Specsavers, and
right.
And so I've been there for 15 years, so I kind of know the place inside out, and all the machinery there I have to fault find on and figure out the conveyor systems. I can take them down, reroute them, make them do stuff in a different way. I also do kind of PLC programming, and for instance, for pneumatics, all sorts. It's 15, well, more than 15 years worth of knowledge there, but my heart is truly in woodworking now, and basically I can do electrical programs and electrical panels and stuff like that, but when I come home I don't really think of that, but the techniques I can use doing the woodworking. So
there's kind of an aptitude which is translating from work to hobby, because you know who wants to go home and do their job.
Well, it's my best mate used to say that I was a bit like MacGyver. I could just look at something and go, okay, if we do that, then we can make that work. And that tends to be kind of with the ideas. You get the idea. Today I finished a mirror cupboard which actually holds my wife's hairdryer, tongs, and there's a little dispenser either side which has actually got her hair rollers in. So it's like she takes them out at the bottom and then puts them back at the top.
Well, because I saw that on, I think it was Instagram, or it might have been Facebook, but certainly I saw the picture of it, and with the holes where you can see kind of at the level that the curlers are at.
Yeah,
I thought to start with that was going to be, you know, like the lights around an actress mirror in the dressing room. I thought, and I was like, oh no, they're not lights. It's like, oh, is that to like put because sometimes when you go into the hair salon, well, not my hair salon obviously, but you know, a lady's hair salon, you see the like those the hairdryer things that look like a big ray gun. They have them in those round holders. I thought it was, and I was like looking at it going, what is that? Oh, and it all suddenly made sense as to what actually you'd made in detail.
Yeah, it basically it's there to, if they get stuck, you can just put your finger in and knock them down. So simplifying it.
It's perfect sense.
I'm going to shift gears one more time and say, Paul, I know that you just broke the 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. So congratulations to you for that, first of all. And I'm sure there's going to be many more to come. But Jamie, do you have any questions for Paul out in the chat?
Yes, we do actually, Chris. We've got a question from OJ's Woodworking Crafts. It says, "What is Paul's favorite project?"
Well, one of my favorite projects is the plane I made for Maker's Care, and because I did it all by hand as well, I resawed a bit of walnut. I did everything by hand. I molded it by hand, and it did actually turn out really good. So that's one of my favorites. There is more than that, because every time I make something, I surprise myself. So
it's kind of like asking which is your favorite kid. You know, it's sometimes, you know, I mean, obviously we all have our fails, and so we don't but we tend to kick them to the curb.
You're still talking about kids. And the newest one is always your favorite.
Yeah, the newest kid is always our favorite. You know, but the one in the middle who picks his nose and won't stop doing it. Yeah, he's gone. The middle child syndrome. Anyway, I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't mean it to make. I didn't mean it like that. Whatever. Okay. The joke.
Pete's Bunker and Handicraft says, he said, what is the toughest project you've ever done?
I think the toughest one is actually the inside out turn-in that I did for the Christmas ornament. And it's basically first time I did the inside out, first time I did a captured ring, and it was kind of, how do I sand this thing and everything like that, because I'd never done it before, so I just had it in my head, and that was it.
That's something I've still never done, is a captive ring. I've done inside out, but like I said, I've never done captive ring yet. Okay, a question from Andy Pugh. He says, what big tool would you like to get next?
Well, it's a choice between a new lathe or a new table saw, because the lathe was, I got a good deal on a lathe and a knackered table saw, and a few other bits and pieces for somebody. Their father died, and he used to do woodworking and stuff like that. So it was £100 for all this stuff, and obviously it's quite old. So I'd like to kind of upgrade it to a newer type of lathe or something like that.
So, sorry, what sort of lathe have you got at the moment then?
It's an old draper lathe, and it basically I think it's from the 80s because it's been well used, and
is it in still good? I mean, are the bearings all good? And
the bearings do need to probably need replacing, but it works fine for what I do, and the most things I do on it at the moment is pens, so it's ideal for doing that. So
right, I got because I mean, I was going to basically play devil's advocate and say, you know, lathes are actually a comparatively simple machine compared to some of the other stuff that a lot of us have in our workshops. So if it still worked, maybe then kind of would the table saw option be better, or, you know, just getting the reasoning, or was it just I want a bigger lathe?
No, it's the table saw is annoying at the moment because it's a cheaper one, and as you probably know yourself, when you start, you can deal with things like that, but when you get more progressive, you actually want to get more precise.
Yeah, I grew out of my table saw very quickly, and I'm just too tight to get another one because I've kind of bodged it and redone the fence and things. I'm like, all right, it's still kind of working. So,
well, let's just call a spade a spade. The better we get, the more snobby we get. Okay, because
that's kind of true. Actually, yeah.
It is.
It's like the more experienced you are, the more snobby you get about what kind of tools are sufficient for you.
It's also the learning aspect. It is you learn as you go along, because when I first got a table saw, it was a second-hand table saw. Didn't come with the guide, didn't come with any safety, over-the-top thing. And to me, it was brilliant because before, I'd be using a handsaw to rip a board lengthways. So you add any power to that, and this is the best thing in the world. And then when you actually learn about it and think, well, actually, this isn't square and it should be, that's when you start to think, well, no, it's not that great. So it's more the learning about what's wrong with it kind of thing.
It's the same as the mitre saw. I got a £50 mitre saw from B&Q, and then I upgraded to the Evolution chop saw, but even so, with that, it can only do certain height. So I'd like to get a bigger one because obviously,
see, it's a nasty rabbit hole we all go down.
We always want bigger.
And also, if anyone's listening, you know that it's your hobby. It's what you enjoy doing. So why kind of, if you can, why suffer it and then go, oh, do you know what I wish? Just if you can, do, because this is the thing that you do because you enjoy it, not the thing you have to do because it pays the bills. Because that's a strong argument for just, it's your hobby, you like doing it, so like doing it rather than get annoyed with
then struggling with it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's, and even, you know what, Richard, even on a business sense, it makes sense to have that kind of perspective. And you know this as well as I do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be Mr. Green Tool owner. I mean, when you're going to be doing it for a living, you really do want to have the best and most efficient tool that you can freaking buy, because and in the long run, it saves you money. Well,
and if
don't twist your head at me. I'm trying to. I
totally agree, but I'm also siding with Paul because we've already said he does.
What's up with that?
Paul does it because he likes doing it, and he's already sort of alluded to, you know, the reasons behind it. So enjoy it. Get on.
But Chris, I've got a Festool. I've got a Festool pencil. So that's a step in the right direction.
Well, you see, you're one step to becoming that snob I was talking about earlier. It's like, if I'm going to draw a perfectly straight line, well, then I need a Festool pencil. That's all there is to it. So
and Richard's gone.
Yep. Richard can't take it no more.
No, well, it doesn't matter because I've got more questions for you. So bye, Richard. Oh, well, at least I know how to host a show anyway. So
That's he just went to put
I got a question from last week's guest, Eloy. He says, "What is your least favourite woodworking task?"
Cleaning up.
I think that's everybody's, to be honest.
Well, no, see, I was expecting the number one answer, which was going to be sanding. Because, I mean, most woodworkers do not, well, except for Jamie, most woodworkers do not actually enjoy sanding.
No, sanding is one of those things that when your fingers go numb and tingly, it does mean that you're not sick, but you take time to recover from all that holding.
That's a genuine medical, that potentially long-term thing. If you're getting pins and needles in your fingers from vibrating tools, that can be a really bad thing to happen.
Yeah,
actually.
Although from earlier in the year, it also is the start of what I had as well. If it's GBS, I woke up with tingly fingers, and it progressed. So, but it was not related to too much sanding. So,
Put him on the mend now, thankfully.
Definitely,
yeah.
Getting back in the workshop.
So I just think it would be a lot easier if the entire world would just go ahead and accept the fact that rough wood is good.
That would be a big help.
Unless you want to get splinters.
No. Splinters would be good too. I don't care if you get splinters or not. It's the way it should look.
Rustic all the way.
Scars and memories.
There's a T-shirt. Scars and memories. Let's all get into woodworking.
Another question from Phil Cannon. He says, "Who is Paul most looking forward to meeting at Makers Central?"
Well, you lot, of course.
Oh, see, you know what? All right. Bonus points to Paul.
but who actually?
but really, Paul, who are you really looking forward to meeting?
There's so many people going. It's difficult to choose just one because everybody who's doing making it, they're doing such a. I mean, all the people that are subscribed to are practically going to be there. I mean, it's very difficult to pick one. I mean, I met Matt Cremona at Yandles, so he's a really nice guy. And so the only other people I've met are kind of the ones who have gone to UKIS. So, I mean, you've got Jimmy DeResta, you've got April Wilkerson, you've got
Peter Brown coming over there, yeah.
Peter Brown, yeah. Izzy Swan, and
I don't know if I should break this news to you, but I don't think Izzy's going to make it.
No,
I don't think the United States is going to let him out of the country.
It's too valuable of an asset.
No. You guys think I'm joking? I don't think Izzy's going to be able to get his passport in time to go. I know that's a bummer, but and Izzy, if I'm wrong and I just stole like a bad news story for you, then I apologize. But I kind of overheard that in a conversation, and I don't think Izzy's going to be able to make it. But on a positive note, Richard will be there.
Yeah, wait, Izzy. That's obvious, isn't it?
Hurry and get your tickets while you can.
Quick climb up.
And on another note after that, boxers or briefs?
Boxers.
There we go.
That's the first matter-of-fact answer. That you were expecting that all day long, weren't you, Paul?
Let me think. Just a little.
No, him and Han, he had it right there. Boxers. Good for you.
Good skill. I don't know if we covered this because I just shut off like a rat up a drain pipe a second ago. So did somebody ask you what your favourite tool was?
My favourite tool?
No. Unless that wasn't a loaded question, although obviously, you can say router if you...
But the last project I did was the thank you sign for reaching 1,000 subscribers. And and it's actually to give to the nurses at the hospital from who looked after me. So that was done by a router, and in some ways I'm more router biased because most of them a lot more router projects than scroll saw projects. So it's probably more team router.
No, that's honestly, that wasn't a loaded thing.
He's got all them inches, doesn't he? He's got to gloat about it.
But my next project is actually going to be done on scroll saw.
Cool. Is this like a secret project that you're? It is. That's fine. That's done.
Yeah.
I know a lot of makers, well, some makers, they just I'm doing this, and some people keep it fairly close until the big reveal. So that's absolutely fine, no problem. But we've got a little bit of time left. The reason I shot off like a rat up a drain pipe when I nearly fainted because you said Festool there actually, but you said you got a pencil. Come and find me at Maker Central, and I will give you a Festool ruler to go with your Festool pencil.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh,
it's got your name on it.
How cheap is he? What about a domino, Richard?
What size? 4 mil? 6 mil?
Oh God.
Oh God.
So yeah, don't let me forget that.
No, they're quite useful, those type.
I love those folding rulers. I think they're way better than a really up.
Get off it. Let's go.
No, seriously.
Well, no, you can find them on a friggin' whatever. You can buy one from Tool Stop tomorrow, and it doesn't have to have Festool's name on it.
Oh yeah, loads of people do them, but then loads of people make pencils as well, Chris.
Well, yeah, and you know what? They're good darn pencils too. But whatever. All right, I don't care. Let's move on. I don't want to get into this today with Paul because Paul's such a nice guy. I don't want to bring him absolutely nonsense.
So you mentioned your next project is going to be a scroll saw project. What are you currently working on at the moment, or are you working on that scroll saw project at the moment that's going to be a video later, or?
It's going to be a video later, but it's actually part of the actual. There's the Instagram LED light challenge.
Yep.
And basically, it's going to be an entry into that. So
right,
it's going to have LED lights.
Cool. The last thing I want to do is kind of try and drag your secret project out of you and spoil you trying to keep it. I mean, that's literally what you're working on at the moment, I take it.
He's lying. He wants to know.
No, I don't know. Honestly, that's the last thing I want to do. But normally we ask people what they're currently working on, and if that's the thing he's working on at the moment, then I don't want to dive too deep.
I actually finished the thing for my wife today for the hairdresser's storage thing. So that was the end of today. So I'm now going to start on that for the next project. So,
gotcha. And will the dressing room cupboard mirror? Is that going to be a video?
No, it's not going to be a video. But I've got a palette. Matt from Badger's Workshop just made a glass and wine holder. I've got that planned in the next couple of weeks to do. So I've got a hardwood palette, and I'm going to take it apart and make a glass holder and then bottle holder on the top.
Gotcha. And I mean, while you're on the subject of the video or the project that's not going to be a video, roughly how many things do you make that don't make a video?
Quite a few, because the time aspect of it is when you make a video, it's actually 3 times longer, and especially when you have to edit it, it's kind of takes about the same amount of time to edit the thing to make the thing. So it's a lot quicker just if, for instance, you can make 6 pens in the same time that you can actually make a simple project. So
yeah, I mean, you probably saw on my Instagram. In fact, I think I put a couple of pictures on my Instagram today. I was doing some stuff in the workshop with Catherine, and she was absolutely gobsmacked as like, just let me get on. I was like, no, we'll video it. And it took about 4 hours to make 2 tea light holders.
Yeah.
And she's like, no wonder you're out here all the time. Like, yeah, I know. Welcome to my world.
No, it does show a different side if people see that. So, my wife, because my workshop is actually part of the house, so I don't actually. It's like an extension. You could say it's like a conservatory, but it's not like yours. It's kind of a rectangle. So
It's a real building rather than.
Paul, let's just be honest. From what you told us earlier, it's your dining room table.
it's the old dining room. Yes.
Paul, because we're running a little bit of short on time. Let me ask you, who, and maybe this will answer somebody's Makers Central. Who you're looking forward to meeting? Who are you watching on YouTube? Do you got anybody that you want to give some love to today?
One of the good videos I watched this week is by Joe. His little charger table.
Not him again. Okay, all right.
I thought that was really good. So,
how do you spell your name, Joe? Joe WHITDUM. Okay, I got it.
That'll do.
BITHEAD.
Cheers, mate.
That was an awesome video, but you know, I hate to give him love, but all right, okay, we will.
It's hard enough to comment on his video saying you liked it, let alone giving him a shout out and all.
Oh my god, such a task.
Dude, you asked the question, Chris. Yeah,
I did, but I was hoping for a different answer. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Joe knows I love him. That was an awesome video.
Should we try and make up for it a little bit then?
Well, okay.
I think you'll like my shout out.
All right.
My shout out is actually Chris Cute.
Oh, cut it out. Cut it out.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. How do I buy that?
No, come on, seriously, it's a brilliant video. I'm talking about his circle cutting jig that he recently made for the bandsaw.
Yeah.
I think it's ingenious. I hadn't seen one like that. The premise behind it's fantastic. The way he goes about building it, as always with his videos, is brilliant. Well worth checking out. I'm not going to give away how the jig actually works because then it's like, well, why go and watch it? So you've got to go and watch it to find out. But it's ingenious. And I want to say, I think it could work really well with the likes of a router table and a table saw as well. Definitely not a scroll saw, but what you're going to do. So go and check that one out. Well worth watching. Make the first cut on YouTube, Chris Cute.
Well, you know what? Now I feel guilty. Now I feel
because that jig, that's all scrap wood as well, isn't it, Chris? And all, just
that was just out of. Yeah, that was just all scrap, and it was honestly all scrap wood and just stuff I had laying around my shop that I was trying to figure out what to use it for, and I just somehow put it all together, and I came up. So, Joe, thank you. I appreciate that. That's I almost want to cry now because I was making so much fun of him before.
Do you get through much scrap wood in your workshop, Paul, at all?
I produce a lot of scrap wood. Yeah. But no, if I need to make a little jig or something like that, I can. I've got plenty around. And today I was reorganizing it as well, and the amount of offcuts I've got from pen blanks is just staggering. But you never know what to do with them.
Paul, you know what? And here's an idea. I'm going to throw it your way. Because if you're like me, how many pens have you turned? I mean, give me a rough estimate. 100, 150, 50, 25. I mean, how many pens have you turned?
120.
Okay. You know what? I'm pretty much right along in the same margin with you as far as that goes. I'm saving all those little pen cutoffs that I have. And, oh, God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Jamie, please don't record this. I'm going to glue those up and make them make an end grain cutting board out of them.
Yeah, I was just going to say you could do that. I was just going to say they could be or key fob things.
Yeah, because it's all gorgeous wood. It's just little pieces of really gorgeous wood. And if you wanted to take the time to glue them all up together, I would make a really cool looking cutting board. Anyway, Paul, there you go.
I've actually seen people glue wood and acrylic ones together and turn bowls out of them.
There's an idea.
Yeah, I've got a load of acrylic ones. If you want them, Paul, I'll send them to you.
What glue do you use to? And I'm not trying to drag it because I know we're running time short of.
Some people just use normal wood glue, and it sticks them.
Yeah.
Okay. Because years ago I saw somebody had used some plywood, and like cast acrylic, like 1/4-inch thick cast acrylic in various translucent colors. So there's like a bit of plastic, a couple of layers of plywood, a bit of plastic, and all different colors. And they turned it into a bowl, and it looked absolutely just insane. I was like, I want to try that, and it exploded and just went everywhere. So, yeah, watch out for that if you try that one. But I don't know if people turn cutting boards on a lathe. I don't think that's a.
Yeah.
Well, Richard, who are you watching?
Who am I watching? That's a good question. Who am I watching? Oh, yes, Bob Claggett. I like to make stuff. Have you seen his video? I know not 3D modeling's not everybody's cup of tea. It's not actually mine, to be honest, but I looked at it because it was interesting. He took one of his kids' drawings, like off the fridge kind of drawing, and he put it on his computer somehow and 3D modeled it in Fusion, and then 3D printed like a toy robot that looked exactly like his kid's drawing, like exactly the same. And I'm not into 3D printing. I'm not a Fusion worker, but the reason I bring it up was the whole thing around the video is he'd done something with his kid for his kid. And if you've not seen the video and you're not interested in it, just fast forward all the way nearly to the end when he gives this thing to his kid, because his little boy's reaction, it filmed, and I don't think he knew what was going on. It was like a genuine kid's reaction to something awesome his dad had done, and it just made the whole video amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's like Dad just made my little creation critter come to life and gave it to me. That's awesome. Well done, Bob. Awesome. I haven't seen that video, but Richard, I will go take a look now that you've mentioned that, because I mean, I freaking love kids, and that just tugged at my heart a little bit. Thank you.
Good stuff.
My shout out this week is if I have the time, and it looks like I barely do, but my shout out this week is for all the people. And I have a love-hate relationship with you at this point in time, but all the people that went to the Atlanta Woodworking Show this past weekend, good for you. And I'm looking forward to the videos and everything that you guys are putting out for that, because none of us were able to make it this year to the Atlanta show, and we all wish we could have. So I'm looking forward to seeing the videos you guys put out so we can live vicariously through you. I know, and I will shout out these guys because I saw a little behind the scenes clip of these guys doing this. The Maybe I've Said Too Much podcast guys, they actually all three got together in the same room. I believe it was Joel Crawford's house. It was Joel and Izzy and Mike, and they actually recorded an episode of the Maybe I Said Too Much podcast there in Atlanta, live from Atlanta. So I'm looking forward to hearing that and everything else that's coming out as well. So I hope you guys had a great time. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get there. I'm sure Richard and Jamie and Joe feel the same way. I mean, it would have been great to be there. But hey, you know what? Put the stuff out there, because I'm looking forward to seeing it, because that's going to be my shout out this weekend. So I guess Maybe I Said Too Much is my shout out, but anybody who puts out a video this week regarding Atlanta, you can guarantee that I'll be watching it.
Mm-hmm. No doubt Jamie's got some awesome things that he's been watching as well.
Yes, I have, but before I do that, he got the usual Jamie's page. And this is in reference to what we was talking about at the start of the show about the t-shirts. There is a link on the website, and to get there you can go to makersinternationalpodcast.com/t-shirts, or you can just go to makersinternationalpodcast.com, and at the top of the page there is a word that just says t-shirts, and if you click that it will take you to two pictures, of one picture of Team Scrollshaw and one picture that says Team Router. You click that picture and it will take you to the campaign of your choice, etc., etc. So yeah, that's basically all you have to do there for the t-shirt side of things.
And help Jamie out and get Team Scroll.
Yeah, it seems like I need some help.
and not just in the t-shirt.
Yeah. With my shout out, I mean, since Chris and Joe got some love, I won't be needing that. I'm gonna shout myself out. No,
that's all here for Jamie. That's all here for Jamie. All right.
Seriously, there's I've been watching a channel. I'm not going to shout out any one particular video because I've actually been flood watching this person's channel recently. I only just came across the channel, It's like a small to medium sized channel. The channel's called Craft with. And you have to excuse me if I pronounce it wrong. It's all one word. It's Craft with Afshin. It's a small wood turning channel, and some of the videos that he puts out is just absolutely brilliant. And it's one of them channels that you can't really say that you haven't got the equipment to do it, because it seems like he does everything from a cell phone. You know,
Gotcha.
so it's one of them things that it seems like he's only just started and he's doing really well for himself. You know, so he's a prime example of yes, you can do it.
All right, so that is, if I remember right, that is Craft with Afshin.
It's AFSHIN.
There you go.
And
Craft
it's all one word.
with Afshin. All one word. Awesome. All right, cool.
You do have a kind of a habit for finding some almost off the beaten track little gems, don't you, Jamie?
Yeah.
Jamie does
and
have
that.
cool.
I also want to mention Makers Rock. All the videos should be out yesterday when we go live, which is Tuesday for the live listeners coming up.
Or it's already out if you're listening on.
And that's a prime example of why we have
Jamie's page.
Thank you,
And
buddy.
not Chris's corner.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Or on the phone with Joe.
Or Seaside Rick.
Hashtag.
Hashtag Seaside Rick.
Paul, you have been a sport for coming on with us today, man. I can't thank you so much for joining us today and putting up with this nonsense, because it's been absolutely ridiculous. But we're glad that you came along with us.
Always.
No, it's been great fun. Thank you for having me.
It's been great.
Before we do go though, sorry Joe, I'm going to say this anyway. Just behind you, we were saying before we went live, it looks like, if anyone listening, it's like you've got the old Tommy Cooper arrow through. But you said that you made that thing that's behind you on the wall. What actually?
It's actually my wife's name in Russian.
Oh, right.
Awesome.
Ah,
And presumably that's a rose that it's.
Yeah, and
Gosh.
I actually carved it out of one piece of wood. So even the rose was from that one piece of wood. There is stages on Instagram if you'd like to go and have a look. But it actually turned out really well.
That is a
Very
really
cool.
good segue, because my next question was going to be, where can people find you on the interweb? Because we didn't actually ask you.
Yeah, it's Paul Willmore's World of Wood on Instagram, Facebook. I've got a website, willmoresworld.com. And that's it.
And of course, the YouTube channel as well. And all that should be linked in the description. So head down in the description and get following Paul.
yeah.
Definitely.
And remember, where there's a Willmore, there's a way.
There definitely is.
So I am subscribed to you, and I have been for quite a long time, but I just realised that I hadn't clicked the bell icon. So I've now clicked the bell icon, so I will get notifications, because I know that's the thing. I think I've been subscribed to you for so long. It was before the bell icon was a thing.
Yeah,
It was probably when it was still doing star ratings on YouTube, to be honest.
3.5 years ago. Yeah.
But, yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, Paul. As Chris has already said, it's always a pleasure, and hopefully we'll bump into you or make a beeline to bump. Well, you're going to come find me now, aren't you, with the ruler?
Yeah,
but we'll see you at Makers Central. And excellent. Thank you to everyone who is still listening and has been listening the whole time. If you haven't, then we can say what we like about you, because you're not listening anymore. So make sure you head on over and go find Paul. Click the bell icon, unlike myself. And until next week, you all take care, and we'll see you soon.
Have a great week, everybody.
See you next week.
Take it easy, everybody.
Ta-da.